Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Feinberg, and I am the proud president of the Holocaust Center's Board of Directors. While our center has remained closed throughout this pandemic, we have held many fantastic online programs to educate and bring our community together, including our acclaimed series, Strategies for Action, that has attracted participation from around the world. In the wake of the turmoil we are seeing in our own country, we know now, more than ever, there is a clear need for this vital programming. As always, admission is free, however, registration is required, and more information can be found on our website. We are also continuing with our plans for the new Holocaust Museum for Hope and Humanity in downtown Orlando, and cannot wait to share our vision with you in the very near future. While we were unable to come together as usual for our dinner of tribute in April, we still wanted to take the opportunity to thank our generous sponsors and present our honoree, Orange County Mayor Jerry L. Demings, with the Tess Wise White Rose Award. To present this evening's program, I would like to introduce our 2020 event co-chairs, Holly Pottishman and Carolyn McDowell.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you all for joining us. I would like to thank the Dinner of Tribute Committee for their hard work and each of our sponsors for allowing us to utilize their generous contribution to support our ongoing operations along with impactful and informative programming. We are most grateful for your commitment to our mission and the important work of the Holocaust Center.
Now we'd like to share a very special tribute video created to honor this year's award recipient. Recently, it was our pleasure to be able to spend time with Mayor Demings and present him with the White Rose Award. We hope you enjoy this tribute and special presentation.
The Holocaust Center is proud to recognize Mayor Jerry L. Demings with the Tess Wise White Rose Award. Our theme for 2020 is Breaking Barriers, Changing Lives. With his life story of significant accomplishments in the face of obstacles, Mayor Demings was the perfect nominee. Jerry Demings and his twin brother, Terry, were born at the Dr. P. Phillips Hospital, at the time referred to as the Hospital for Coloreds. They grew up in the Washington Shores neighborhood of Orange County. Although not part of the Deep South, Central Florida had its own patterns of segregation in neighborhoods and schools. In spite of discrimination, many African American residents were breaking down barriers, becoming prominent educators, musicians, and business owners. In 1964, the Reverend Martin Luther King visited Central Florida, inspiring conversations of change and making a significant impression on the young Demings. Throughout the 60s and 70s, more African American figures rose to leadership roles, further influencing and inspiring him. As Orange County continued to grow and the Supreme Court decision in Brown versus Board of Education took hold across the nation, Father Nelson Pinder fought to integrate schools and playgrounds. Timothy Jackson was appointed as one of the first Black firefighters in the Orlando Fire Department. And Pappy Kennedy was elected as the first African-American city council member. In 1977, Jerry graduated from Jones High School. He then went on to attend Florida State University and Everest College, earning a bachelor's degree in finance and a master's degree in business administration. And he met the love of his life. In 1988, he and Val Butler, now an outstanding and effective Central Florida Congresswoman, were married. He began his career with the Orlando Police Department and in 1998 was appointed as the first African American chief of police. In addition to his work, family has always been of great importance. The Demings are the proud parents of 3 children and grandparents to 5. We hear that some of the family activities involve the attraction both of the Demings hold towards motorcycles. The hard work and focus on community was recognized when Jerry Demings was elected as the first Black sheriff in Orange County. His deep commitment to public service led to his re-election to 2 more terms. And then, in 2018, the popular sheriff was overwhelmingly elected as Orange County mayor.
Jerry has had people who believed in him all of his life. And when he says he's going to do it, he just grab people and pull them along with him. And that's what happened.
And we need to make sure that throughout the police department or any department of the city, we were reflective of the people that we were representing. And so certainly Jerry did that. But he not only represented the African American community, he represented the entire community.
It is important, I think, to African American children, black children, to see that their aspirations are attainable. And if you don't ever see people who serve in the roles that you aspire to achieve, then perhaps you kind of have this doubt about whether or not I can make it. It didn't come without some challenge. So for me, I always try to remember that I represent more than just myself here. I certainly represent my family, but I also represent an entire culture, an entire race of people.
I want you to know that your sons and I could not be prouder of you.
We congratulate Mayor Demings on receiving the Tess Wise White Rose Award, and we thank him for all he has done for the Holocaust Center. Mayor, your steady hand and strong leadership are serving our community well. We celebrate your many accomplishments, and we deeply appreciate your support for our vision and mission.
My name is Bruce Gould, and I'm a proud member of the Holocaust Center's Board of Directors. I am thrilled to be here today with my good friend, Mayor Jerry Demings, who is a fitting recipient of this year's Tess Wise White Rose Award. The White Rose Award reminds us of the actions of a group of courageous students in Germany during World War II. Calling for nonviolent resistance against Hitler and the Nazis, the group consisted of 5 students in their early 20s, led by Hans and Sophie Scholl. They worked day and night to create flyers criticizing Germans who did nothing to combat the tyranny of the Third Reich. The individuals honored with this award by the Holocaust Center are active and vocal members of our community. Like the White Rose, it is their belief that only through participation can we build a better home for all Central Floridians. The values of inclusiveness and respect are central to their efforts. Jerry, we have known each other for over a quarter century, so I know you uphold the same values. When we first met, you were a sergeant in the Orlando Police Department, and I was working in my family's business, providing training manuals and laws to the law enforcement community. I've witnessed your rise through the ranks to chief, then sheriff, and now Orange County Mayor. When we came to you a year ago, we asked you to accept this high honor. We envisioned a packed room of over 700 guests, paying a fitting tribute to a great leader. Well, life has a funny way of throwing curveballs instead of strikes. And what was a packed room has now become a virtual tribute. But more importantly, that curveball showed all of us that what a great mayor you are. In a time when our community needed a leader, a person of courage, conviction, and a leader who can unite us and keep us safe, you stepped up and hit a home run. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my friend. And now it is my pleasure to call up my dear friend and fellow board member, former Orange County Mayor Linda Chapin, to say a few words as well.
Thank you, Bruce, and thank you, Mayor Demings, for your deep understanding of our mission at the Holocaust Center and for your longstanding support of our annual Dinner of Tribute. We are also most grateful that you have championed and supported our UpStanders bullying prevention initiative in local middle schools, and that you continue to recognize the importance of that program for students in our community. When we first discussed this year's award with the theme of recognizing and honoring someone who had dealt with and overcome challenges, We had no idea just how many challenges you were about to face as Orange County Mayor. I know this job, and I cannot imagine how difficult it must be with a pandemic and protests and an affordable housing crisis and an economic downturn layered all on top of the other essential and important duties. This entire community is grateful for the steady and responsible leadership that you've shown in dealing with these issues. We appreciate the communication and the transparency you have provided to citizens. And it proves to us, once again, how worthy you are to be receiving this tremendous honor. I would now like to ask Mayor Demings to step forward, Bruce to return to the podium with Pam Cancher, our Executive Director, to present the White Rose Award.
Thank you very much. I'm going to turn it around. Thank you. Let me just begin by saying thank you to Mayor Chapin for that wonderful introduction. And let me thank the entire board for the Holocaust Center, and certainly I recognize the esteemed president of the board, Ms. Feinberg, and the executive director, Ms. Pam Cancher, and my great friend, Bruce Gould, who I've known for so long and worked with in this community. I am indeed humbled to receive the award today. Let me just share a few comments with you. 2020 is the year of vision, and that's exactly what Mrs. Tess Weiss had in 1980 when she envisioned the Holocaust Memorial Resource and Education Center. With the assistance of the Jewish Community Center and public and private partnerships, her dream became a reality in our community. I had the privilege to meet Mrs. Weiss, and I know that she was the thriving, driving force behind the development of the center that has taught thousands about her past, her struggles, and her courage to challenge prejudices. Since its inception 34 years ago, the center's work has had a lasting impact on our community. We are proud of our ongoing partnership, and we are happy to support the spectacular, state-of-the-art Holocaust Museum in downtown Orlando with a $10 million commitment from the Orange County Tourist Development Tax. This new museum will inspire hope, deepen our common humanity, and help build a more just and caring community for future generations. This year's theme is Breaking Barriers, Changing Lives. I believe this title embodies what I and many others have struggled and strived to accomplish in our lifetime. As a public servant for nearly 40 years, I've experienced firsthand the challenges of breaking down barriers. I've also experienced the reward and joy in knowing that hard work has helped to encourage and bring positive change to others' lives. As a native of Orange County, I came from humble beginnings. My mother cleaned houses, and my father drove a taxi cab in order for me to have the privilege to go to college and to get an education, to be the change in the world around me. I've seen and lived through times when there were disparities among blacks, women, and other minorities, including inadequate access to quality housing, capital, health care, employment, and education. I grew up in a time of racial injustice, and I despise those who seek to oppress others. I have personally experienced racism. However, I was not deterred by my experiences. I am thankful for the many civil rights leaders and those who have fought for justice and equality so that I could reach my full potential. As Orlando's first African-American police chief and Orange County's first African-American elected sheriff, I've spent a lifetime studying, teaching, and bringing about change in modern-day policing. And now as the first elected African-American mayor of Orange County, It is my mission to create a better community for everyone. A place where we celebrate and embrace a community culture of innovation, collaboration, and inclusion where no one gets left behind. Together, we are tackling housing affordability, transportation improvements, and public safety while we re-engage our economy during the worst global health pandemic of our lifetime. During these difficult times, we have seen the importance that the first Orange County Martin Luther King Jr. initiative has played in our community. I'm thankful for the leadership of Lisa Bachman from the Holocaust Center and the 30 community stakeholders that embrace Dr. King's legacy of nonviolence. We have hosted candid conversations and town hall meetings to discuss the tough issues in the community and launch awareness programs countywide in order to promote unity, diversity, and connectivity. It is through increased awareness while engaging cultural differences that we strive to breed a sense of growth and cohesiveness. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., our lives begin to end the day we become silent on things that matter. It is up to each of us to help pave a path forward for women and minorities so we are not judged by race, color, or creed, but by our ability and passion to make a difference. I can assure you that I will not be silent, and I want to thank you for your collective voice in our community, standing against all forms of prejudice and bigotry. We are at a pivotal time in our society where our history can no longer be ignored. We have a unique opportunity to learn from the past atrocities that have been inflicted on humanity and make a lasting change. Together, we can make a lasting change. As Tess Weiss said in an interview, by teaching the lessons of the Holocaust, we can help shape a just and moral community. Once again, to my friends and colleagues at the Holocaust Center, I'm humbled to receive this prestigious award. Thank you, and God bless our great nation.
Congratulations, Mayor Demings, and thanks again to all of our sponsors, especially our platinum sponsors, Saul Schick, Jim and Valeria Shapiro, Tess Wise, and Dick and Dottie Applebaum. We also wanted to be sure to acknowledge Al Harvey, 898 Marketing, Rosen Hotels, Orange TV, Larry Epstein, and the team at the Launch Group. We appreciate your continued support of the Holocaust Center and hope to see you at our Dinner of Tribute in 2021.
We also want to thank everyone who participated in our raffle. This year's winner is Congratulations! A member of the Holocaust Center team will reach out to you shortly to deliver the items you have won.
On behalf of the entire Board of Directors and the Holocaust Center staff, thank you again for your support. And to echo Holly, please plan on joining us for the Dinner of Tribute in May 2021. We hope you are all staying safe and healthy and are able to tune in to our upcoming virtual programs. We look forward to welcoming you back to the Holocaust Center building when we reopen.